Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day. And when I get studying in God's Word and I have some extra time, I can't, it makes me excited. I can't help myself. It's just wonderful. It's just like Charles. Every time he finds out he's having another kid, he gets so excited. You can't get him to quit talking about it. Just listen to him. He does. And yeah, I'm telling you, love Charles. Love you, Bubba. I- I'm glad you finally got a haircut. I was getting concerned there for a little bit. I thought we were all going to have to start braiding. Anyhow, today is actually April 12th, but the lessons in our book kind of got flip flopped a little bit. So our lesson today, we are actually going to do the lesson that is labeled for April the 5th. And the title of it is Sermon on the Mount, The Christian's Relationships. And boy, howdy, do we need this lesson. I know I needed it. I needed it something fierce. Okay, so we've got to really just jump in and dig on this one. But before we get started on that, I am going to say just if you have a prayer request, just simply raise your hand. God knows what it is already. All right. Just think about it, send that to God. And we're going to go to the Lord in prayer, and then we will take up our offering. Brother Sammy, if you don't mind to get ready to take up the offering, I'd appreciate it. And I am going to ask Sister Janie, will you pray over our lesson and our offering, please? Amen. All right, Brother Sammy, if you don't mind to come around and take up the offering, and we'll get started. The Christian's relationships. Our three main areas. First of all, do not be a fault finder. That one right there is difficult to swallow in itself. But do not be a fault finder. Number two, persist in prayer. Put that in place of being a fault finder. All right. When you see something that you think is wrong, just start praying about it. And number three, love others as yourself. Now, we typically, whether we realize it or not, we try to take care of ourselves first. Guess what I'm going to do when I get hungry? I'm going to eat. Guess what I'm going to do when I need the restroom? I'm going to go find one. You know, when I get cold, I'm going to put on more clothes or I'm going to turn the heat up. I'm going to do something to take care of me. Now, at the same time, do you remember when just about everybody I look at in here has children and they were constantly hungry? How many times did you say, just wait, supper's coming? But how many times did we just wait? Even while fixing supper, we'll start fixing a little bit and won't we? Sometimes I even have to catch myself to make sure I don't eat too much before or while I'm fixing supper because if I do, may not be enough for the family to eat. So I better keep myself in control, right? All right. Good morning, love. It is wonderful to see you. I have forgotten his name. Andrew. Good morning, Andrew. How are you, sir? Do you want to stay in here with your mom or you want to go to your age class? Awesome. Wonderful. Wait, how old is he? 10. All right. That would be, okay. I believe that'd be Sister Morgan. Fifth grade? See, I'm almost good on those. Almost. Almost. I only taught it for 25 years. You'd think by now I'd have it down pat. No. Anyhow, I remember her from when she was about Andrew's age. So if y'all don't know this young lady, this beautiful young lady over here, this is Mater's sister. Sister Mater has Alex and AJ. That's her little sister right there. So, good morning. I love it. Just bring them all in. I'm ready. All right, so first thing, central truth today. Followers of Christ are called to live like Christ. That's why we call ourselves Christians. Christ, inside, abiding now. Christ, I-A-N, Christ, inside, abiding now. If you're a Christian, that means Christ is supposed to live inside of you. Well, if Christ is living inside of you, why don't you act it? See, I say that to myself like that when I'm looking in the mirror, because there's a whole lot of times that I don't act it. And then I have to go back and I have to apologize first to Jesus for acting like an idiot, not controlling my tongue or my temper or my attitude or, there's a whole list. I can't go through them. We don't have time. But there's a lot of things that I just mess up because Stelina gets in control. And sometimes it's difficult, but you know what? We get through it. Our focus today, consider how a Christian is to relate to others and behave consistently with this. All right there, that right there just smacks me in the head. Okay, that smacks me to the ground when I hear, consider how a Christian is to relate to others and behave consistently with this. That means, on Sunday, boy, we put on the halos and the wings and we wear the white robes and whoa, we're a Christian. We're so great. Don't follow me to the restaurant, though, because I'm going to treat that poor old server pitiful, right? We need to be the nicest. We need to be the most loving. We need to be the most considerate. We need to do it everywhere we go. I don't care the day of the week. I don't care the time of day. We need to consistently do this. I have seen some Christians that once they get put in the hospital, look out. Here comes the tiger within. And I cannot help but think, if you are a Christian, why are you acting like that? God's in control. You're going through this because He has allowed it to happen. And if He has allowed something bad to go on in your life, you know what that means? He thinks you can handle it. God has faith in you. I know we preach all the time about having faith in God. Oh, have faith in Jesus. Your faith, it'll set you free. Okay, well, that's all great and well, but you need to realize that God has faith in you. He thinks you can handle it. He made you to handle it. He thinks that Charles can handle having 2 kids. He thinks that Madison can handle having 3 kids because he includes Charles in the list. That was free, Bubba. That was totally free. See, I have support. Anyhow, our golden text today. He hath showed thee, O man, what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God? That's Micah 6 and 8. He hasn't demanded much from us. Only thing He demands from us is love. Be like Him. Boy, that's hard to do, ain't it? In today's society, it is. But anyhow, let's jump on. Now, this is taken mainly out of Matthew. We're talking about a disciple of Matthew. We're talking about one of the 4 Gospels. These are the guys who literally walked with Jesus. They were right there in person. They could walk up and go, "Yo, Big J, I've got a question for you." I don't think they talked like that, by the way. But they could have said, "Hey, Jesus, what's going on with this? Why is Peter so mouthy? Why can't you do something? What else you going to do? You fixed an ear. How about fixing this over here?" I mean, they were right there. They could talk to Him in person. So these teachings, oh, man, Jesus is right there. They were very respectful, is exactly right. Jesus was right there with them. He was one of them. He was their friend. He was their cohort. He was their leader. Okay? He was their teacher. And most of all, he was their Messiah. All right? They paid attention. Look with me over in Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 and 2. Judge not, that ye be not judged. Boy, how many of us have that one memorized, and we have had it for years? Don't sit there and tell me lies. You better raise them hands. Now, let's try it. How many people have said the phrase, judge not? I mean, come on. Anybody, raise your hand if you're over being a teenager. You're older than that. Okay, then I know that you've said that at some time in your life. Don't judge me. Judge not. I mean, come on. How many of y'all have seen people that they have the tattoos that says, only God can judge me? They need to really take that in their heart instead of putting it on their skin, because God's going to judge you. But the Bible teaches a little bit different. But let's go on. Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye mete, it shall be measured to you again. Have you ever heard the phrase, what goes around comes around? It absolutely does. Well, right here's where that comes from. You better be careful how you treat people. You better be careful what kind of attitudes you have with people, because it's going to come right back around to you. When I'm in traffic, and I thank God for this, I block out most of the stupidity in traffic. It doesn't bother me. People tailgate me, I'm like, well, they're in a hurry. And if I find a wide spot, I pull over so they can just go on, so they'll quit tailgating, you know? It doesn't bother me. I don't then whip it back out on the road and punch it to jump up on, their tail, flashlights at them. Yeah, who needs that, And God has blessed me with the ability just to block that out, right? But something that goes through my mind, when I am sitting in a line of traffic and there's somebody over here and they've been waiting to get out, I will try to let them out if they're paying attention. A lot of them don't. But I'm going to try to let them out, because it hits my mind. I don't know why, but it does. I always think, what if I was the one sitting there waiting? I'd want somebody to let me out. All right? Even in small things like that, however you respond, you better be careful. Because if you're living a Christian life, for some people, if you're living a so-called Christian life, there are a lot of people out there, they'll profess that they're Christians, and honey, you can't convince me of it for nothing. Just because you show up in church on a Sunday, that doesn't make you a Christian. Just because you decide, well, I guess I better say something about Jesus today. Yeah, if that person, they'll go to a funeral. Well, if they went to heaven, I've already got a front seat. Your life preaches whether or not you're a Christian or not, okay? And we need to realize that. We need to be concerned with ourselves. Look with me over in Matthew 7, 3 through 6. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Now, this is King James writing, okay? But when this is broken down and brought into modern day, the word mote literally means, well, they say plank. But if you really get into it, it seriously means a light pole. Okay, take that size. Okay, big old light pole. Imagine that being in your own eye. All right? But you're too worried about a toothpick or a splinter that's in somebody else's eye. That's talking about actions and doing right and wrong. Let's finish reading this, though. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast the mote out of thy brother's eye. Give not that which is holy unto dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. Okay, separate verse number 6. Let's go back. Let's talk about the mote and the beam. And actually, I did those completely reversed. The beam that's in your own eye is the light pole, okay? And the mote is the splinter, okay? If I see you doing something wrong, and I'm like, oh, I want you to look. I want you to look at Melissa. She was doing this. I need to go tell her about that. But I'm over here doing something much more than she is. Who do I need to focus on when it comes to the Christianity aspect? Do I need to really focus on her, or do I need to focus on me? Exactly. It's every day. When does the Bible tell us to pray? Without ceasing, and that means all the time. So that tells me, when should I be developing my relationship with Jesus? If I'm praying to Jesus all the time, am I not having a conversation with Him all the time? If I talk to you constantly, are you going to learn a lot about me? If I'm having a conversation with you constantly, am I going to learn about you? Now remember, conversation is two ways. That's why I changed the wording. Prayer is me talking, but a conversation is me also doing what? Listening. How can I listen to Jesus? Get in the Word. Right there's a big one. That's like the first thing that should hit our mind. Read your Bible. Honey, you don't even have to read it yourself. You can have it read to you every day. You could set it as your alarm on your phone. As soon as the alarm goes off, it just starts quoting Scripture. That's the first thing you hear. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? First thing that goes into your head is Scripture. What kind of a day do you think you'd have if the first thing that went inside your ears was Scripture? My phone alarm is set right now too loud. This morning I about jumped out of the bed. But anyhow, I'm amazed that Jimmy didn't immediately swing and go, whoa, cut that off. But it is set to Christian music. Because I have this habit. My daughter says I have a little bit of the tism, so I think that's why it sticks to me. Music sticks in my head. I can't get rid of it. And I want to make sure the right kind of music is sticking. So as soon as my alarm goes off, it's going to be a Christian song. And the rest of the time I'm getting ready, it's like I can't. It's on repeat, and I can't stop it. And I'm just like, okay, I might as well sing this now. I might as well go along with it. And finally, I'll just go ahead and cut the song on and let it play the rest of the way out. You talk about starting a day out good. Oh, every time somebody calls, you get My Lighthouse. Isn't that wonderful? That is a wonderful thing to have. And we need to realize we need to start every day out right. And according to this, we need to be consistent. Remember, over in our focus today. Focus. I need to focus more. Consider how a Christian is to relate to others and behave consistently with this. What does the word consistently mean, guys? All the time. See, that's the one thing that needs to be in the head, all the time, all the time, all the time. Jesus. Jesus now, Jesus yesterday, Jesus tomorrow, but Jesus now. In every decision we make. It should not take things happening in our lives. How many of y'all, you've had something happen in your life that feels like Jesus slapped you upside the head to get your attention. I know I have. Now, with me, I'll be honest with you, it's been more than one thing because I'm one of those very distracted people. And I get those beams growing out of my own eyes, and Jesus has to, he has to get my attention. And he has to do it in a way that really does get my attention. And one way that does get my attention, sickness. You put me where I can't move or I can't talk. And guess what? Breathing is directly related to talking and singing. You get that stuff going on, and oh man, I just feel like go ahead and kill me. What am I worth? I ain't worth nothing. Put me flat on my back where I can't move. Well, hello, knee surgery. That one put me in a recliner for about 3 straight weeks. I understand that. When they removed the bottom section of my right lung, all I could think was, okay, what's this going to do with my ability to talk for Jesus or to sing? But you know what? Even the day after the surgery, I still got to talk about Jesus. And as long as there's breath in this body, I don't care if it's a full lung or, in my case, this much left. That's okay. I'm going to give it my best. It may come out wrong. Well, that's when I look at the fact that I love y'all and you love me and we're a church family. And if it comes out stinky or if it comes out where I change words when I'm not supposed to, I think you'll forgive me. I don't think you're going to judge me as being unchristian because I made a mistake. Yep. And see, even while having these surgeries, lung surgery, to pick a surgery, I've had plenty. Even while having those, I had no worry. I had no concern. But boy, when you put me on the flat of my back, things like, well, the devil will come in with depression. How many of y'all have heard that phrase, an idle mind? What is that? That's the devil's workshop. He'll get you thinking about stuff like, oh my goodness, do they really like me? Yeah. Yeah. And and we get so hung up on certain things that we forget about really the major thing. Okay, who can I talk to while I'm there? Who can I show Jesus to while I'm there? Who can I be nice to no matter what? When you have a nurse look at you and say, I just want to come and stay in your room, okay? When you have them and they come in and they're like, it's rough out there. I'm going to stay in here for a few minutes if you don't mind. Help yourself, pull up a chair. Exactly. They're taking care of you. But I can tell you right now, if we go over here to Sister Ella and look at her and say, well, now the people you tend to they don't probably tell you too much. She's in the NICU now. So I don't think those talk to her too awful much. They say plenty. I'm sure they complain in their own way. But before you got to that, I'm sure that if we looked at her and said, oh, I bet every patient in there that said they believed in Jesus, they were so sweet. Nah. You make somebody feel bad, and what happens to their attitude? They'll act bad. And every one of you wives, I know very good and well that you agree with that, because I have heard so many times, Lord, when he gets sick, you about can't stand him. How many of you wives have ever said that? Lord, when he gets sick, you can't stand him. That man turns into the biggest baby I've ever met in my life. I have to give it time, Ella. It'll happen. Oh, it's already happened. All right. I mean, we get but we need to realize first, First, I'm not a wife. First, I am a Christian. And just because Jimmy has been my husband for 27 years, that doesn't mean I've got the right to snap his head off when I've got the worst headache I've had in 2 weeks. That doesn't give me the right to tell him to get away from me and leave me alone. I am not in the mood to talk to him right then because my knees are killing me. My joints are aching. Have you looked at the rain outside, man? I mean, let's get real, people. It doesn't excuse me from my Christianity when I am home and comfortable. As a matter of fact, I should start being more Christian there to set the right example to get my household into the house of Jesus. Very lively crickets. Anyway, but we need to understand this, do we not? We need to be consistent everywhere we go. Let's go on. Ooh, perfect place to go on to. Persist in prayer. Persist in prayer. Matthew 7:7-8 says, Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. If we will just ask. How many of us have told our kids, just ask? We've told our spouses, just ask. If you would just let me know something, I could take care of it. I can't fix what I don't know. Okay? I can't take care of something if you don't let me know. Communication is key. I love it when I'm saying these things and I see certain smiles going on because I know right then I'm in your house. Yep. I know I've been in the car with you, apparently. When in reality, it's not me at all, it's Jesus. And He knows. We are humans. We are made like whom? Jesus. We are made in His image. He knows us from the inside out because He created us. He understands us. There have been times that I was telling you the best way to get to me, and the devil knows this, so I don't care to say it out loud, is through the sickness. All right? But I've got a God that's bigger than the devil, and God has healed me more than one time, and He'll heal me again if I get sick again. So I don't, like Sammy, I don't worry about it. All right? That's the best thing. I'm going to make a T-shirt that says, like Sammy, I don't worry about it. Just so everybody will ask me who Sammy is. Anyhow, but the other thing, being a school teacher, is one that's very dear to the heart when something happens to one of my kids. We saw that tragedy in this community just a couple weeks ago. I have only been to one other funeral that the entire place was packed. Every seat was taken. There was standing room only, and I bet you there were 50 to 75 people standing around the back and walls just to attend a funeral to show respect. I have never been in a funeral procession that led with 17 police cars in front of us or vehicles that help out the Cocke County government offices. I've never seen that. It's massive. Why? Because of a young person going on to heaven. A 13-year-old child going on to heaven. Do you remember months back, I believe it was last September at this point, the killing of Charlie Kirk? Boy, didn't that affect a lot of people. It still affects people. I saw this little cartoon written. It was a picture of Charlie Kirk standing with Jesus. And in the talking, Charlie Kirk was saying, but I could have reached so many more people. And Jesus answers him and says, but look how many people you're reaching through this. Sometimes it takes death for people to get serious. Sometimes people wait. They're like, I got plenty of time. until they see a 13-year-old's body in a casket. And then they realize, I may not have that much time. Look at the stuff that we have damaged our own physical bodies with. And that does take away from our lives. So really, how much time do we have? Nobody knows when they're going to leave. We all have that time appointed, okay? I have been to funerals of little babies, and almost every age, all the way up to a 100-year-old woman. Her picture's back there close to, right outside these back two doors. Okay? So understand, age is just a number. You are not promised tomorrow, but you're also not promised to lose tomorrow. Can God extend your days? Absolutely. We've read stories in the Bible about Him extending different kings. There's one He extended, 15 years. He was supposed to die that day, but you know what? He turned his face to the wall and he prayed and he asked God to help him, and God answered his prayer. So we need to ask, seek, and knock. Now, I am going to rewind. I want to go back to verse number 6. Verse number 6 says, "Give not that which is holy unto dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you." What do you surround yourself with? If you surround yourself with dogs, you're going to get fleas. Worse than that, what if you surrounded yourself with mean dogs? You're going to get eaten. You will be utterly destroyed. What if you surround yourself with pigs? First, you're going to start getting stinky. Second, you're going to be mud covered. And then finally, what are those pigs going to do to you? They will trample you to take you down first. And then they're going to devour you. You'll be destroyed. What are you surrounding yourself with? What do you have in your house? We need to clean house. Jimmy has preached and told this story before. When Jimmy and I first got married, we thought it would be fun for us to have, I think it was a Nintendo Genesis. It was one of them black box kind. I can't remember what kind. It was a long time ago. And we thought, well, we're going to get this. And, of course, it came with 2 free games. And I don't think we bought another game yet. We were checking out them 2 free ones because we were cheap. All right? At this point, we only owned a couch and a TV. We couldn't do too awful much. And thank God the couch we decided to get on a payment plan, it had a fold-out bed so David could come and visit. That's the only thing that Jimmy cared about. So as long as the brother can come visit, we're good to go. And we got this game, and every single, it had some kind of a dinosaur on it. I can't even remember the game, but we'd play that game. Oh, and we'd play it every night. And we played it as soon as we got home. Then we started playing it as soon as we got home into every night. Then we started eating supper in front of the TV. Do you see the problem yet? Guess what was taking all of our time? That game. They're consumed. I really want to do some research one day when I have time. That probably won't ever happen. That'll be after I die. Maybe Jesus will hand me a laptop in heaven. But I believe that there's a direct correlation between playing on phones, video games and such, to being ADHD. Because those nerve synapses, they get used to the response of the games. The faster you do it, the better the score, the more you win. You've got to go. You got to make the decisions. You got to get it done. You got to beat this person. Hurry up. Okay, that's getting those nerve endings, those synapses, buddy, they're flying. And then you set them down and you expect them to be quiet without those synapses. Something's got to feed into that. And that's why you see them twitching. They're moving. They're tapping. They're doing all this kind of stuff. Boys are fired up anyhow. And then, well, I've got to do something to calm them down. Yeah, teach them. Teach them how to control that. Teach them how to release in the right way. Don't hand them something to babysit them so you don't have to. Why do you think God gave you the boy? Okay, besides to drive Peggy insane, He knew that she was a boy mom. But He gave you what He knew that He trusted you to take care of. He gave me what He trusted me to take care of. You'll notice I don't have a boy. I've got a girl. And yes, she just about drove me insane. But thank God for Jimmy White. He controls her pretty well. But God gave exactly what He trusted us to raise. I'll be honest with you. That's right. I wanted a boy. I never thought I'd be able to have a girl. I always thought I was too tomboyish to give birth to a girl. I did. I tell people I was my daddy's only son. He had two girls. One of us had to do the job. I volunteered. Give me a weed eater, buddy. I can get that thing running. See? Somebody has to do that job. He had to teach somebody. I'm a good small engine repair person. My sister, God love her, can't do it. She never came out of the house. I never went in the house. So, it was kind of even kill. But at the same time, we need to realize in every single thing, we need to make sure it's what God wants us surrounded with. Okay, how do we know what to surround ourselves with? We ask. And you don't just ask one time and say, well, He didn't send it. I asked Him. When did you ask Him? Did you ask Him? I asked Him Sunday at church. Did you ask Him Monday? Did you ask Him Tuesday? I was there Wednesday night for Bible study. I listened to it online. Did you put effort forth to get the Bible out yourself? Did you actually pray about it before Bible study? Okay, Charlotte? Yes. Cats don't appreciate that. Yep. Yep. Amen. He never did give it to me. I'm still driving the Pinto. Oh, you'd been dead. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That show that you just talked about, Charlotte, it's a swine. If you allow these things into your children's minds, your own, you're allowing yourself to be surrounded by those dogs. You're throwing yourself to the dogs. You're throwing yourself to the swine. And what's going to happen? You're going to get into the same habits. You're going to grow numb to certain things. In today's society, I was listening to this even on the way to church this morning. I was listening to a study that they're doing on different political parties using the F-bomb and how many times they use it now. When I was a teenager, you never heard of that being used. That's exactly right. If a congressperson had used the F-bomb, they'd have been thrown out. They would have been impeached right then. They'd been like, you're not good for America, you're out. And now they say it normally. We are growing numb to these things. We need to stand up and put a stop to it. We need to grow some backbones as Christians. Whatever happened to saying no to our children? Whatever happened to saying, no, I'm not listening to that. No, my ears are not trash cans. No, I don't allow that in my house. Whatever happened to that? Oh, it's okay if you do it just a little bit. The Bible teaches it's okay if you do it in moderation. No. Never. And there are things, if you allow certain things into your body grows accustomed to it. It grows used to it. I'm on certain medications even today that when I started, I was on this little bitty low dose, and then my body adjusted to it, and guess what the doctor did? Raise it up a little bit more. And then after I took it for a while, my body got accustomed to it. And I go back to the doctor, I'm like, this ain't working no more. Guess what the doctor did? Raise it up a little bit more. It works the same in every situation in life. If you're hateful to even with attitudes, if you're hateful to somebody and get by with it, you will continue to do that. Get control of yourself first. Now, this is the biggest thing on you guys. Men, you have, the pressure you have on your shoulders. I pray for y'all. I feel that burden for you men. Because you have such a load on your shoulders to be spiritual leaders. Being male is very special. When God created you as a man, as a male, even as a boy that grows into manhood, God, is that special? Because you don't only have yourself to tend to. As you age, and it happens to everybody, if you don't believe me, well, just look at Bryson and Bubba. I mean, it happens to, I'm just playing. It happens to everybody. They have grown up. And they have others now on their shoulders. Bryson, you don't just look out for Bryson, do you? Who do you look out for? Ella, you guess? No, Ella, you know. Because when you agreed to become as one, that went on your shoulders. Tyler, you need to pay close attention, son. Because November's coming. And you're not agreeing just to tend to Tyler anymore. Those shoulders better be big enough to hold Tyler and Leanna. Sammy, when Sammy was created, even when Sammy was in the womb, And God was forming him into being a boy. He had Amy in mind for Sammy. God formed Sammy's spiritual shoulders to carry Amy. So in that household, God expects that. He expects that spiritual leadership. You guys, I'm telling you, the burden is great. And to try to meet that burden, to provide, to protect, it makes me happy to be female. I'm glad I was a girl. Growing up, I used to think, man, I wish I was a boy. Not no more. Honey, leave me alone. I'm a happy woman. All right? Our responsibility is also huge. Because, yeah, you've got that male Godhead, pretty much, that's supposed to be that spiritual leader. And then right below him, guess who's there, girls? And then right below us, we have the children. And there's a lot of situations we don't have that set up, do we? Oh, my goodness, how many times do we look around and there's one part or the other they're missing? And when that happens, the other one has to step into more than one role, and they have to take care of it. And being a single mother, it's not easy, is it, Priscilla? Trying. And sometimes neither parent steps in. And that's where we need to step in. Yep, I've done it again. Anyhow, the father's Amy, because she was back there going, yep. Yep, here we go. This is why they got me out of teaching, because I never can finish a lesson. I'm sorry. Or what man is there of you whom his son asks bread will give him a stone? Oh, let's just talk about it. Even those who don't know Jesus, if their kid comes in hungry, it pricks the heart to where, oh, that's my child, I need to feed them. Yeah. Just wait a little while longer. No, you feel because that child is hungry. That's your child. Well, how do you think God feels about us? He created us. And God has a special place for us. Let's look at, if I could get the pages to turn like I want the pages to turn. Thank goodness this is actually a short lesson. It's a short lesson. I still didn't get through it. Oh, the golden rule. I love it and hate it all at the same time. Matthew 7:12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. If you want somebody to treat you a certain way, you need to treat them that way first. The golden rule is not do unto others how they do unto you. No, that's not how it is. You do unto others like you want them to do unto you. I want my husband to be nice to me. All right, well, are you nice to him? We won't go there. The altar's open. Anyhow, I want my husband to bring me a chocolate every once in a while, a little gift, a little pick-me-up. Well, when's the last time you got something for him? I just wish that man would mow the yard. Well, when's the last time you cooked dinner and had it ready when he got home? We have to look at ourselves. Fellas, I just wish that woman would get the laundry actually done on time for a change. I've had to wear my same stinky uniform for 3 days in a row. People are going to start noticing. Well, when's the last time you got that woman a flower? When's the last time you took care of the kids for her to do something special for herself? When's the last time that you did supper for the children? I don't care if it is taking them to McDonald's so she could go get a pedicure. I mean, guys, this is a give and take. This isn't a it's all about me thing. Oh, she needs to be more respectful. Okay, well, when's the last time that you were respectful to her? When's the last time you carried the laundry downstairs so she didn't have to? You might get them uniforms washed. I mean, we need to realize, look at yourself, fix yourself. Don't be expecting, like Charlotte said, don't pray entitled. A lot of Christians do that. God, I ask you for this. You're looking at a woman who did start out driving a Mustang. Well, okay, I didn't start out. I'm talking about when I was able, after I got my first real job. You remember getting your real job? I got a teaching job. I went out. I bought, my favorite color is blue. It was Royal Blue Mustang. Man, that thing drove good. Jimmy wrecked it within the first 2 months that I had it. But anyhow, it was great. And then it got repossessed. Because I bit off more than I could chew. Because I didn't trust God. At one point, and this wasn't that long ago, this was just a couple of years back, I drove a 1991 Suzuki Sidekick. Have you seen them things? My daughter nicknamed it a rolling meth lab. Because she said, Mama, it looks like you're out selling drugs driving that thing around. I'm like, well, I don't know how many drug dealers you've been hanging around lately. Out of a Suzuki Sidekick, they usually drive something, I'm pretty sure, a little bit nicer. The paint job was so bad on it, I went and bought vinyl for cars, and I vinyled the hood just so it would look a little bit better. It was a little rough. I think I paid $500, and I was glad to get it. And thank God that the air conditioner only needed one thing of that, you know, that stuff that you just take, it's in a can, you know, and fire it up. Thank goodness that made the air conditioner work, or I would have been suffering. My daughter wanted to get out and walk to school a block before we ever got to the building where I taught because she didn't want to get out of that car. She didn't want her friends to see her. And then when it broke down and I borrowed my daddy's truck, it looked even worse. She did insist that I stopped at the boys' home driveway so she could walk up to the front door and I could go park in the parking lot. God had to humble me. Humility is what we need. The greatest commandment from Matthew 22:34-40. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, and saying, Master, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Oh, listen to what Jesus says here. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. There's your first one. Put God first. But listen to the second one. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is likened to it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law. Who's your neighbor? Well, right now, every one of you are my neighbors. You're sitting close to me. So I should love you just like I love me. When I went back this morning and I made coffee, I thought about Terry. I did. He has made the statement before of, well, I kind of like the coffee better when you make it than others. They make it so strong I about can't handle it. And I made sure as I was counting scoops, I counted Terry scoops. Huh? Okay. Sometimes the way you love somebody is to steer clear. That is showing love. That is showing love, because if you reach out and it's thrown back in your face, that's provoking to where you want to put something else in their face that's shaped like this, and that's not love. You see what I'm saying, Sammy? So sometimes the only way you can love somebody is to avoid them or pray for them. Always pray for them. Always. But at the same time, pray for them at a distance. They're not moving in with you. When they come and knock on the door and they ask, hey, can I borrow this? Or could, or you parked over on my lawn again. you're killing the grass, and you know very good and well your fence is 3 feet on your, when they act in certain ways, keep it together. They're going to leave and go home. Plus, when you don't react, they have nothing to fight with. It deflates their balloon of hatred to where they're like, well, forget it, I'm going home. You know what I'm saying? Love them from a distance. Pray for them from a distance. That's the best thing to do. Guys, I hope you learned something today. Thank goodness it was kind of a short lesson where I did get through it, but not thoroughly. This is why they don't hardly let me teach anymore. But thank you. Thank you. Anyway, that's why I asked Charlotte and David to come visit so I could get clapping. Guys, worship God today. Put God first today. Put God first every day. All right? When you speak to somebody, is that what God would say to them? How you treat somebody, is that how God would treat them? When you leave church and you're on the road and you want to ride somebody's bumper, would Jesus ride them? Think about it. Okay? I love y'all. I hope that you learned something. Come back again.